Okay.
No.
So our next category is Best Actress.
Okay.
Best Actress in a Leading Role. Charlize Theron, Bombshell. Renee Zellweger, Judy. Cynthia Erivo, Harriet. Scarlett Johansson, Marriage Story. Saoirse Ronan, Little Women. Okay, so George, start with Best
Wow.
Actress.
Best actress. Okay, let me see. Okay. I would say I did. Cynthia, I saw her. I wasn't. I was okay with her. Scarlett, she's really good at crying. I noticed that.
Who's that?
Scarlett Johansson. She can cry like that. Schwarze, I didn't see that one, but I love Schwarze. She's one of my favorite actresses.
Yeah, she is.
Charlize, she didn't quite do it. Well, Renee Zellweger. I thought that Judy character was one of those rare, characters too that I don't think any of them touched her. I think she did a great job the way she, and we actually did that movie too with Casa. So yeah, to me, Renee Zellweger I'll give it to her.
Yeah, okay.
Done deal, Renee Zellweger. If she does not get it, I'm turning the TV off. I don't even care about the rest of it. Yeah, no, I think she was genius in this role. It's her. I mean, did she win for?
I want to say like Cold Mountain or
Cold
something.
Mountain.
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
That was.
Is that Brokeback Mountain?
Isn't that?
No, that's a whole
for the
different
guys.
side of the
That was Nicole Kidman wasn't that right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so she won supporting on that. I think, Renee Zellweger all the way, above anybody else. She rolled to me.
Patty?
I find this category hard. The Judy role is like the Joker role.
Yes.
It's the role,
Of a
and
lifetime.
luckily they picked the right people to play it. So for that, Judy, but I got to tell you, I think the actual hardest role to play was Scarlett Johansson's, because to play the part, to play those intricate emotions, I think would be much harder as an actress. With Renee Zellweger, she has to just copy somebody. The other one is Cynthia Erivo. Is that how you say her name? Erivo. She played, her part was really good, but she had played an angry black woman slave. And I think those like playing somebody crazy, that would actually be easier than playing normal, because normal has so many.
Kind of what I was saying about Brad Pitt.
Absolutely.
What I was saying about Brad Pitt as opposed to...
So I'm actually going to go for Scarlett Johansson, even though I think Renee Zellweger did a fantastic job as Judy, but I think it's more the role than her.
Sorry.
But I have to say, J Lo. I'm sorry.
As the pole dancer.
So who are you saying?
What a reach.
Best actress?
Hey, she showed it off at the Super Bowl, so come on.
Okay.
I think Renee Zellweger will win, but I think the harder role is Scarlett
Johansson.
Johansson.
There's a lot
played.
of subtleties that she does just to portray.
That's hard to play.
Happiness.
Again,
That's hard to
A
play.
normal person that
A normal
is-
person going through a divorce.
Right.
I think there's more subtleties, as you said. So, in a way, I always hope, I don't know, because Renee Zellweger was so good in that part, but it's like she just had to copy somebody. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but she copied her down.
She really did. I take nothing away from Renee.
But what do you think about the?
But let me finish on one
yes.
thing.
Okay, I'm sorry.
If Renee Zellweger has to do one more speach, which really irritates the crap out of me because I can't stand Renee Zellweger. She's so phony. And everybody she said, she's acting when she takes these awards. It's like, just make it short and sweet and get the fuck off the stage. And that's for probably most of the reason I hope she doesn't win. I can't take it because I've watched all these awards.
I will say this: I did like her speech at the BAFTA. I only saw the snippet because I like the fact that she actually saluted London Town because of where the movie took place.
If she'd stopped there, that would have been great. Every Tom, Dick, Harry, Joe, Frank,
Well, to be quite honest, I didn't see the speech. I just saw the little snippet where
that was
and
good.
it could be because it was on BBC News. So, oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Not behaving. Viagra.
Viagra.
Give that Mike Viagra.
Make it
Okay,
stay up.
actually, Patty, I find this... Renee Zellweger, hands down. I have no... that's who my choice is. She was exceptional in this. I cried my eyes out. I'm not a fan either of Scarlett Johansson or Renee Zellweger. And it's kind of like I didn't even see Renee Zellweger. But I have to say that Scarlett Johansson, in a story that I found insipid, that I don't even understand it, as indulgent actors who are like involved in their careers, she was very good in the Marriage Story.
Yeah.
She, if this causes you so much conflict and dilemma and whatever, then she actually portrayed that.
Yeah.
I don't understand her. I don't understand her.
Can relate to her.
The character.
But I'm sure there's a lot of people who can relate to that character.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
But who the hell wants to see a divorce story? I mean,
The problem I had, I thought Charlize Theron as Bombshell was great, but it wasn't an Academy Award role.
No.
She imitated and had down
Megyn Kelly.
But Megyn Kelly's plight to me was not the same as Judy's plight.
right.
You know what I mean? Her plight was so much more, and she pulled it off.
Right.
So I did not see Saoirse Ronan, and I love her a lot, but I really had a problem with this Little Women, so I will force myself to see it.
But Greta Gerwig is a great writer.
I know you keep telling me that, George.
I'm a fan of Greta Gerwig.
You keep telling me that. It's like, yes, but why do you want to rewrite Shakespeare?
I'm gonna give you a movie that was that one.
It's like,
she was in.
she's great.
But you're right. You're doing a story.
She rewrote. She rewrote
it's
Henry the Fourth
It's
Part
like
One.
it's like
and put
Abraham
it in
Lincoln.
modern
Abraham
times.
Lincoln vampire killer.
You know what I mean?
Pride and Prejudice and Zombies.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
did
It's
that, yes.
like the language was wrong. Just what I saw was really
Boring.
it wasn't really boring. It was not in the time that it was. And Cynthia Erivo as Harriet, I thought she was excellent.
Me too.
I don't think the role was excellent. I thought that she was, if the role had a little more conflict in it within herself, I might give it to her.
Well, for the character and the subject matter, it could have been a deeper role.
It could have been a much deeper role.
How could it have been deeper?
Yeah, because she would have played it
12
deeper.
Years a
It would have
Slave.
been
See that
written
movie? You see
deeper.
that? What's
It would
her
have
face?
been played deeper. That I had my whole problem with Harriet is that, and I picked that movie because I thought it should be great, but there just was it just didn't feel like there was any depth to it. Everything was like easy.
That's true.
Everything was easy. It was like
I beg to differ on everything was easy, especially for a black woman back in the pre-Civil War. Yeah,
What you're talking about in real life, it wasn't easy, but in the movie, it had a very light
you're right,
feel to
Sue.
it.
yes,
It came off like nothing was like.
yeah. It
you
was
didn't
like
get
she
the
went
fear of
here,
that.
God told her to go there, and she did that. But I'm sure it wasn't like that.
It was like Wes Anderson. That's Harriet Tubman.
Yeah, I had a
lightness to
problem.
it.
But I thought the actress Cynthia Erivo was
she's great. Yeah.
fantastic. So if that role had been a little deeper, and they would have written it, I blame the writers for that. I blame the writers.
and the director, I would say.
Editing.
Everybody else.
Everybody else.
I would say,
Yeah.
I can't just make that.
And Charlize Theron got her down perfectly, but I actually have very little sympathy with all of them.
Yeah, it's not like you can't compare a slave to a $1 million contract.
So now she
God,
has to
who
work
has
for
to make a choice about her
$500,000
morals.
somewhere else. Oh
Yeah.
God!
So we should move on to Lamb because the GoPro's gonna go at 54 minutes now.
Okay,
Okay, well, as far as the
But I
best
got this one
actress, I basically am agreeing with Patty. I think, for example, Renee Zellweger is going to get it, period.
Yeah.
Because that was, again, a spectacular performance. And but like you said, she's imitating somebody. But boy, she had, in my opinion, Judy Garland down.
Absolutely.
With the exception of when she started singing.
Yes.
That's what drove me
about
nuts.
the damn singing.
Yeah.
That's what actually drove me
Hold
nuts.
me back.
Only because I'm sorry.
Hold me back.
It's so funny because it's like, here she is, she has it so perfectly, and then she starts singing the song. I said, that's not Judy Garland. Completely removed me from watching her. But
that's happened to me too.
I was with my
Yes.
friend, right, and I told him, I'd rather they dubbed Judy Garland's voice in because that would have been magic.
Her voice.
Exactly.
Hello.
But he said, oh no, that would have completely ruined the movie for him. So I thought, you know what? Obviously, a lot of people, they went with it.
What?
Hearing Judy Garland sing The Man That Got Away and A Star Is Born, a movie which I've never even seen the whole thing. I've watched half of it. When you hear her sing a song, it's amazing. Period. There is nothing like it. That voice is so unique. So here she has almost every single thing down. Her delivery, the voice, even sort of the weird kind of manic behavior she had at that time period of her life, which, to be quite honest, I'm the same way. I had no idea about her last year in life. So that was sort of an entertaining part of it for me. It was really touching, and even the emotional stuff, which I don't even know if because it's based on a play, but I guess I don't know if it's contrived when she meets a couple of her fans and sort of like interacts with
I love
them.
that part of the movie.
She gets the emotion. How I thought, if Judy Garland really behaved that way, good for her. She knew who her fans were. Nothing mattered except thank you for coming and supporting me.
Yeah, but do you remember how awful her life was as a little girl?
Well, that's actually an
amazing.
aspect of the movie I didn't like. I didn't want to see that because I did sort of know about it.
Oh, you
But I think they tried to set it up so you really have even more sympathy for it because of her
And
lifestyle
you
of taking
understand
pills. Right.
why she is the way
Right.
she
Is
is.
this child abuse or what?
Right. But another thing I agree with Patty on is the fact that a lot of Oscars that you see are people playing other people in history where they can imitate them. And so when you get a performance like Scarlett Johansson in Marriage Story, which is sort of organic, she really has to come up with everything her own.
Okay.
But the same will hold true, actually, for Cynthia Erivo and Harriet, because she's got to play this character who is, as we, well, at least I don't know, as American
don't
history,
know her.
she is an iconic Black American woman, period.
Right.
This is a woman who did something so outstanding, which is even more impressive at the time period she did this.
Yes, but I don't
Yeah.
think they portrayed that well.
Well, this is the thing, because you're right. This was sort of what I hate to call like a hero worship movie.
Right.
Where it's like, we're not going to show you any of the bad things she went through. But for the things that she had to do, going from this journey, being rescued, and actually having to learn something, and then still show that will of iron, like, no, I have to get my family, which apparently was her complete motivation, was trying to get her family out.
Right.
Going to the places where they know they had a bounty on her head, and that's what amazed me, because that's what she shows. She shows that courage and that iron will. But you're right, emotionally,
They made
It's
it
like-
too easy.
I wish. Well, that didn't bother me because how long would it take? It might take another 3.5 hours, like Irishman,
Please,
to
no,
get you through the
no.
journey. But the thing is, no, I think they just. But because she did that, though, that's the weird thing. She actually did that. And even when she fought for the Civil War,
Yeah,
they
but-
show that one
Right.
little sequence where she's actually fighting with the Union Army and leading them.
But let
It's
me
so
just-
hard to get, I think, all that in and just the build-up, basically.
Create a character.
Yes,
out of
build
that.
up,
but
yeah.
here's the point: is those three characters, Charisse Theron, Renee Zellweger, and Cynthia Erivo,
Mhm.
they played real people.
Right.
Now I don't
But
know.
like I said, she's
I
the
don't-
only one that it's not like it's documented. They
But
have
I-
pictures of her.
But I
that's
don't
it.
know
Yeah.
why Harriet
Mhm.
couldn't have been as intense as Judy. The role was
Mm-hmm.
not as intense, even though she played it extremely well. I
Yeah,
mean,
they made it look like everything
they-
she did was really easy.
that's
Well,
yeah.
and that's the funny part because, see, like I said, to me, when I'm watching this, I know it's not easy. Every time she went back to Maryland
I
for
was
her family,
amazed.
it's like,
Well, you know it's not easy, but the movie did not convey that.
But what I think is that
So-
the subject matter is heavy. I thought
Yeah.
the movie wasn't heavy.
no,
Yeah,
It wasn't
no,
like
that's true.
Color
No.
Purple.
right.
Yeah.
Color
That
Purple
was
was
heavy.
heavy. 12 Years
Right.
a Slave was
That
heavy.
movie.
If those directors or whoever would have done Harriet, it would have become a heavy movie. It would have been like Schindler's List or Schindler's
Well, again, that's what I
heavy,
said.
where you go, wow, this is
They obviously
an
didn't want to
Academy
go
Award
that
movie.
route.
This
Yeah.
should go for Best Picture if you
with
wanna,
with the writer
they
and the
would-
director.
Which I'm surprised because
Yeah.
I mean, you really want to show the heaviness of it. You
Yeah.
want people to emotionally feel what they're going through,
Right.
but they made it so light. It's almost like a Disney movie.
And it is
Yeah.
weird too because they actually did a TV movie in the 70s that I happen to see about Harriet Tubman. So that's why it's like, oh, I sort of knew her plight, but this one conveyed literally just how much she had to go back from
No,
the
in fact-
family. It
Right.
all had because the TV movie dealt more with the spiritual side. It's like, no, this is like inhuman. This is not dignified for people to have this kind of life. I have to save them in a way.
Right.
Because she actually shows where she has to convince the other people, which they show very briefly in the movie of her going to this, party where other people who are sympathetic to,
Right.
or abolitionists that are sympathetic to her. But it's like, oh, that's sort of thrown away. And I thought, see, that's part that I wish they showed
Yes.
because that will show you the conflict that she has to actually argue with these people about what she's doing.
Absolutely.
So I think you're right as
Yeah.
far as the sense of drama, it's not there. But I was going to
So
say
you-
that on top of that too, Scarlett Johansson, I agree that she has to come out of nowhere and come up with this, and she does a very fine job in my
Yeah.
opinion. I thought both of them, the leads, in the
Oh,
movie,
those guys
did a very
both-
good job.
Yeah.
So
And I will also say this that Florence Pugh in Little Woman, that unfortunately is sort of like I would call the plum role, because Saoirse
Saoirse
Ronan?
Ronan?
Saoirse, that's how you pronounce it supposedly, Saoirse.
Oh, okay.
She I thought was excellent, but again, I've seen like 5 different versions of this.
Right.
They all play her in this sort of upbeat, tomboyish way. But I agree with you about the writer and director. She did in my opinion, a very good job of contemporizing the movie for a new audience.
Greta Gerwig.
George
you
Loves
know,
I'm a fan
that
of
writer.
And well, she's the one who
director.
did Lady Bird, and I was
Yes.
so
I
surprised
love Lady
that
Bird.
she pulled in 3 people from Lady Bird to be in this movie
Right.
as well. You know,
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
So it's like, oh, good. She likes to use the same actors that she thinks is.
You know, the first time I
confident
saw her in
of.
a movie, there was a movie that she was in as an actress, and she wrote the movie too. And it's about somebody in New York, moving to New York, and I was just laughing. That just you can already see that she has a very unique style. Well, you didn't see the movie, but I wasn't wanting to.
Well, I
It's
think
just
Susie
like-
sort of pointed out perfectly that she has a contemporary style of
Yeah.
of women and dialogue and behavior.
really, the dialogue is very
so-
good.
I have to admit that I thought she was very good as well. But, in fact, I thought the movie was very good. But again, how do you pick these actresses? Because another one is Charlize Theron, because I thought she was very good playing Megyn Kelly. But
Yes.
I thought Margot Robbie
Robbie.
was good,
Robbie.
as well as Nicole Kidman. And my thing is, I thought all 3 women were equally on screen
too,
and
yeah,
equally
absolutely.
playing very good roles. And again, in this Me Too era, that's like
agree,
they're
but-
really representing 3 different generations, right? Of them having to do that, which I thought was very, very important.
Okay, I
You
thought
know,
they
yeah.
meant, well, good, because I thought I'm glad you think that, but I thought that it was like kind of, I didn't get Malibu Barbie.
Yeah,
To
but
show that it
we're
happens.
we're talking about how their level of acting in doing those characters. Not really the subject matter might be like millionaires crying about the
Millions.
but how did they play the actors?
But
play
I'll
this
say this to you, Susie, as well. Do you
I
think
believe they believe it, but I don't believe it.
Question.
do you actually think it was actually not politically motivated to make this film as well, to take a knock at Fox?
Say
Because
that
when I
again.
watched this, I thought, because another thing
Sure,
is when I actually watched this, I thought, wow, that person does look like Sean Hannity. That does look
It
like
does.
Neil Cavuto.
Yeah.
I mean, that does look like Janine Pirro, right?
Yes.
I really thought, okay, here's one of these sort of,
Well, you're
and
saying
I could
the
be
same
completely
thing as-
wrong,
you're
a very
saying-
liberal kind of view about
Right.
let's do this so we can actually knock Fox off.
never even thought
Because
of that.
Roger Ailes,
Right.
he did get kicked out of his job,
Right.
And again, I think it's not so much. I understand what you say about like the plight of women in general.
No,
going
no,
through
no,
all
no,
that.
no,
No.
no.
And that's what I'm saying. I
I'm
want
not
to say
saying
that.
that.
No.
you just
I'm
said
saying it then. I'm thinking that all women have to go through, but why does it have to be these people who get compensated? But I say, look at what's going on with Harvey Weinstein. I'm sorry, so far the only witness I know who's testified to him
Okay,
that
can
they
I-
put on the news was
can I-
Rosie
Wait, let
Perez,
finish.
No.
correct?
Yeah.
A
Yeah.
celebrity. So
I'm gonna-
that's what they need. The celebrity to get the public interest. in it.
I'm gonna edit this, but it's kind of like, there was a thing in the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s. It was called the casting couch.
Yeah.
Nobody, I mean, it had a name.
Yeah.
It had a name.
Oh, and everyone knew it went on.
Everybody
Yeah.
knew it went on.
Yeah.
I gotta pee.
I'm not for.
Well, let's
I'm
because I'm
not
running on a video. Let's get to the movie and
I'm not for.
Yeah.
This-
I'm
this-
not
not
for
sidetracked.
We gotta cut it
persecuting
off.
Not
one
sidetracked.
person.
Yes.
We got to do best actor.
Okay, you're right. So
Well, then you're going to have to run out of tape. I don't know what to tell you.